Podcast starts now. Wow. Hello, everyone around the globe. You are listening to StraightioLab, the only podcast that is also a corporation. How the hell is it going, George?
You really got me with that corporation joke. I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, well, we surprise ourselves sometimes.
You know, after all these years, we can still surprise each other. And that's what makes a productive creative partnership. You know what I was thinking of doing is addressing something that is going to be addressed further in the Patreon, but sort of teasing it in our intro. How does that make you feel?
I guess that makes me feel okay. I guess, when I said we're the only podcast that's a corporation, I was mostly trying to make it I was kidding.
Yeah.
And so sometimes, teasing Patreon content feels a little bit real. Like then we really do think of ourselves as a corporation.
Yeah, but here's the thing. We really need to think of ourselves as a corporation because let me tell you something. Sales are dwindling, and we are not reaching the metrics that we need for Q1 or Q.
Oh my God.
What Q are we in?
I think we're actually about to go into. Are we still in one? Our producers are telling us we're in Q1.
Yeah, we're in Q1. I never can tell. This is how you know I'm not a good businessman because literally in my mind I was thinking, are the quarters based on the school year or the calendar year? And I'm like, okay, wait, in what world would they be based on the school year? I was like, is Q1 September through November?
I mean, it should be based on the school year because school then leads to business. I also think that, in my mind, there's only two Qs. You have the winter and the spring. And then once it's summer, business is over. When the pools are open, the business is all shut down. You can't do any work. You shouldn't because you need to be resting your mind and your body in a pool. And then by the time it's fall, then you have to be getting ready for the holidays. No matter what you celebrate, there's a lot of preparation that needs to start happening.
That's true. For me, the Qs are like holiday season, summer, and then normal.
Yeah.
And you can sort of extend them enough where you're like, oh, it's September. And you're like, well, it's almost the holiday season. And then it can be like April. And you're like, well, it's almost the summer. So if you sort of do it in a really strategic way, you only have to work approximately like 6 weeks during the year.
Honey, that's a little high for me. Because even when it's a winter, it's like, well, I need a winter outing.
Right. Well, you're hibernating.
Like naturally I'm hibernating, and then in the summer I have to express myself recreationally.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you're either hibernating, expressing yourself recreationally, celebrating a Christian holiday.
Yeah.
Or
and then maybe March I can put in some good work.
No, because March is when the weather is slowly getting better, so you're sort of excited about what's to come.
That's true.
I kind of think, well, it's tough because I sort of think we're going back to the school year where September is the only month you can really work.
September is the only month you can really work. I'll take it.
You know what, though? September, sometimes the weather is still good.
Especially with global warming and with everything going on
Exactly,
with
everything going on with that politically and psychologically and socially, of course, and spiritually, not to even mention. But the other thing is that sometimes September is the best time to go on vacation because it's not peak tourist season. You know, everyone is always going on vacation June through August. And to me, I'm like, well, it's so much better to go to an Italian villa in September when you can go to the downtown village area and not be hounded by tourists being like, oh, where can I get a t-shirt that says Mamma Mia?
Totally. You're so right. And our capitalist society is so toxic. There have been times when, I've been on vacation in September and people are like, okay, well, now that Labor Day is over, it's time to hit the ground running on blank, blank, and blank. And I'm like, no, I actually just started my vacation a week ago.
Exactly.
Because I was expressing myself recreationally in the summer, and now I'm getting the deals on the trips in September. And what with global warming, that's normal and okay.
And I also want to say that you are pointing to another reason why, to me, it seems a little inappropriate to work in September, because if Labor Day is in September, then that's a bit on the nose. You don't want, it seems pretty obvious. You know what I mean? I mean, it's sort of like wearing a Santa. I know I've in the past come out as pro Santa hat, but it's sort of like wearing a Santa hat to the holiday party where you're like, all right, maybe try doing one thing that's original. Maybe try doing one thing that was not featured in the film Love Actually, just for once in your life. Literally, think of one thing that maybe is your idea. That's how I respond to any email I get in September.
Yeah. So with all that being said, what did you want to talk about from the Patreon?
Okay, so I want to talk about how we have a Patreon and everyone should subscribe. It's really great extra content every month. We do 2 extra episodes a month. One is an earnestness check-in where we just chat about our lives. And the other one is an episode of our Straight Movie Club, where each month we watch a straight movie and discuss it. And this month, our straight movie is Top Gun Maverick.
Well, George, I hope you're happy.
I'm not. And I'm actually holding back tears. Because the fact that I used up my 90 seconds of work on that is something that I will be dealing with for the rest of the calendar year and school year.
I mean, also, I have to say, to like talk exclusively about like there's something so nasty and gross about being like, yeah, well, we don't like to work here, we don't like to work here, we don't like to work here, we don't like to work here. By the way, subscribe to our Patreon.
Well, obviously, Sam, that was the whole joke. I mean, I have been preparing for that for months. That was an entire pre-written bit. And by the way, when I first brought it up, what I wanted to do is to sort of bring up the topic of Top Gun Maverick, because I think it's like a fun topic. And I also think it's sort of fun that we're discussing it 9 months late.
Yeah, well, it's still really popular, so I think that's okay. And the Oscars are just around the corner. And need I remind you, it was actually nominated for an Oscar. So before you say it's trash and
I did not say
propaganda, just remember that it was actually nominated for an Academy Award, not unlike films like Moonlight. Thank you.
Yeah, it's sort of the Moonlight of this year in that sense. Well, Lady Gaga does the theme song, so kind of.
So kind of.
She did the theme song for Moonlight, right? She sang Bloody Mary at the end.
Oh, God.
And then I just want to mention one more business related thing. You know, this is the first episode that we are attempting to record with video, which I am so conscious of and keep looking at my own face and your face. How do you feel about that? I'm
so glad you brought this up, because in our more honest, true selves, we would always bring up the fact that we were trying something new. And, you know, we could spend a whole episode talking about the Zoom windows or something.
Yes.
And I was afraid to bring it up because I almost didn't want to bring too much attention to it, because it's actually stressing me out.
No, we actually need to return to our roots of talking about the podcast while we make the podcast. And sometimes I think that we have sold out in the sense that sometimes we will bring a guest in and treat them normally. And that is unacceptable, in my opinion.
I think you're 100%
And that is
right.
not alt, and that is mainstream, and that is literally NBC like Thursday night lineup in a way that I am humiliated by, and in a way where I'm like, oh, I guess I'm a Ross.
Yeah. No, we've completely lost our edge. So I guess, I want to say we're using a new system, and we're actually recording video, and we're gonna see how that feels. And it does not help the fact that we have like these like webcams, which are very slay, and we look like so crisp. Like in my room, like looking around my room, it is dark, it is dreary, it's not enjoyable to be in. But when I see myself on screen, it's like bright, like it's like I feel like I'm like a model. My hair is like kind of flowy in this way.
Exactly.
My eyes are stunning, and I'm seeing myself for the first time.
You've had to disconnect your landline because the calls from casting directors kept coming one after the other, to the point where actually your phone bill was, even though you weren't picking up the phone, the number of just the sound the phone was making was using up so much electricity that you were evicted from your apartment.
I was evicted from my apartment because of the electricity bill being so high because of all the calls. And so so needless to say, I just shut off the line.
Yeah.
And now I before I was always like, what's happening? Why is this happening? And now I'm seeing myself in the camera, and I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense actually.
Yeah. And you've had to purchase your first cell phone because you're one of the last people that was using a landline for everything.
Yeah, when I shut down my landline, I decided to finally pull the trigger on that big cell phone purchase.
And so guess what? With all of this, you know who won in the end? Tim Cook. You try to be alt. You try to be alt. You try to do a sort of like alternative take on podcasting. And at the end of the day, Tim Cook wins. And someone has bought another iPhone.
Oh, you know that thing where people will be like, you know, Bill Murray, like when he gets roles, like people just like call his landline and leave a message. Did you ever hear that?
No, but I'm pretending I did.
Well, people would always say that and be like, isn't that really cool? Like you just call him. And I'm like, no, it's not that cool. Like you think you're better than everyone, just like go through your agent like everybody else. Like we know
Yeah,
you're
and
not
also-
like humble. Like we
Right.
know you like are rich as fuck. Like don't pretend like you're just some guy.
And also, not to be a bitch, but then like he gets that role, shows up to set, he's the most toxic person in all of Hollywood. so maybe like check your weird biases where you think it's charming that Bill Murray like has the landline just so he can then show up and terrorize Lucy Liu on the set of Charlie's Angels Full Throttle.
Literally, just like be normaler. Be weird. Be weird in your performance. Sure.
Yeah.
Come on, just use a normal.
Yeah, come
form.
on. Just be Taika Waititi. Just kidding. Should we bring in our guests?
Yes, we have today two incredible comedians. Please welcome Bill Murray and Taika Waititi.
Woo!
Hi.
Hey, you guys.
Hi, Bill.
Thank
Hi,
you
Taika.
so much for having us on.
Hey, it's
How's-
Bill and Taika here.
Yeah. You guys are so cute.
Thank you. Thank you. You guys are really cute too.
Thank you.
You guys have such an unexpected friendship and unexpected new sort of like business partnership. It's a little like when Lady Gaga and Tony Bennett released that album together.
It's
Thank
a little
you.
like that, yeah.
It's-
Because we met doing a Christmas album
Oh wow.
That's right.
together.
That's amazing.
And we learned we're both straight men and we're not afraid of whimsy. And that really
Yeah.
brought us together.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
No, we're not.
We don't mind
Wow.
being a little bit kooky with it. And how charming is that, by the way?
And I want to ask you guys something again. Knowing that I'm Bill Murray,
Okay. Thanks for establishing
And I'm-
that.
Sure.
am I the guy from Osmosis Jones?
The thing is,
that makes
Bill,
sense.
Here's the thing, Bill, you are, but the fact that that's
Okay.
your go-to, the fact that that is your go-to, like listing on your IMDb page tells me
Right.
that you are even more fucking whimsical than I thought.
And what else did I do?
Like Ghostbusters. Lost in
Oh,
Translation.
No, I didn't see that. No,
No.
I didn't see
Like
that.
most Wes
What
Anderson movies.
Most Wes Anderson
No,
movies.
I don't go there. No.
Life Aquatic.
Guys, I think. Wait, I want to be Natalie.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Should we kick
Okay,
out
please
Taika
welcome
and Bill?
from
Yeah.
the hit podcast Exploration Live, Charlie Bardey and Natalie Rotter-Laitman.
Hey, you guys. Yes! Now we can be normal
Thank you for having us on.
and act like ourselves.
Wait, so what's the deal? Natalie, what's the deal with you not knowing anything about Bill Murray?
Bill Murray. Well, it's interesting because basically I grew up like I never saw any movies that were for boys. I had like a perfect childhood. And
Yeah. So Lost in Translation was sort of Sofia Coppola's breakout.
yeah, but you know she makes movies for boys.
You know what? Say that. Yeah, for gay ones. For gay ones that are
Whatever.
choking on cock while watching The Virgin Suicides.
Say that.
Say that. I like that you guys are watching Top Gun.
Oh,
Right.
So
yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing it back.
Thank you for
up,
bringing it back
Because
up.
once again, we do want to encourage people to subscribe to our Patreon.
Totally.
Me too.
I had a question for you too. I want to know, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, like, how stressed out were you being brought in not as yourselves and actually as two characters that are real people in real life?
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't feeling stressed until Natalie claimed Bill Murray. And then once
Yeah.
I was a little bit more comfortable in
the
the like,
accent.
we are both of us, or we're both
Yeah.
Taika and
Right.
Bill, and like it can be kind of fluid like that. And then once I had to really land in the role of Taika, I was like,
Yeah.
this is a little hard. And
Yeah.
I don't want to get myself in trouble by being too
Yeah.
mean.
Right.
No, that
Yeah.
Taika would be like a terrible snatch game because there's nothing, even though everyone knows who he is, and
Yeah.
obviously he like is having a real moment
Right.
with everything going on politically.
Right.
like he doesn't have like a catchphrase.
He doesn't have a
No.
catchphrase.
Well, I'm having a hard time separating how I feel about him with how the world feels about him, which is that I find him
Yeah.
annoying.
Right.
And so it's like if I were to do an impression, I'd be like, "Oh, you know me, I'm like that annoying guy," and you guys would be like, "Well, that's not so specific."
And that would be a really spot on impression.
right?
What does the world think of him?
I think the world
Well,
kind of
people
loves him.
love him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Love him.
Well, he's
Right.
sort of like,
Okay.
how do I put this? Like he's the perfect middle brow. Like he's the perfect sort of like
Totally.
he is elevated Marvel. But then he's also the people's Oscar movie. Like Jojo Rabbit is like the comedy that is nominated for Oscars, and then his Marvel movies are like the quote unquote more sophisticated Marvel movies. So it's like, I mean, It's a sort of Lin-Manuel Miranda type thing too, where it's like
Yeah.
to be right at the center. If you draw a
Wait, you're
graph,
so right.
Yeah, this is
That's
smart.
cool. Yeah, this is smart.
thank you. If you draw a graph that's like highbrow, lowbrow,
Cool,
the
George.
people that are right at the middle are the ones who get the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Right. You're literally correct.
Steve Martin.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Steve Martin in a sense could be that, but I also like to put Steve Martin, literally one of the most talented people who has ever lived, in the same group as Lin-Manuel and Taika. I would struggle with that a little bit. No?
I didn't know you felt that way about Steve Martin.
I agree with George. I also think he's like very actively pretentious, even when he's not doing comedy.
Steve Martin?
Yeah.
He is.
But I
or
think
is
that's
not.
what it is. It's like
He is.
he is pretentious for a comedian, but down to earth for an actor, for like a smart actor.
Right.
It's that perfect
I
balance.
think he's a
of-
great like older guy.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no way around it.
And
Yeah,
as
Natalie-
an old man,
He's
he's
like-
crushing it. Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah, I think he's nailing that.
Yeah. Natalie, who are your top 5 older guys? Go.
sure. Who are your guys?
Who are your top 5 older guys?
Okay. I love the guy from Succession, the old guy.
Oh, he's a great old guy.
Oh, Brian Cox, for sure.
And I love my grandpas who died.
Oh.
And I love That's okay. Did I say the guy from Succession?
Yeah, that was the first one you said.
Oh, okay. Oh, you know what? I like those gay guys who are on TikTok. Those old gay guys.
Oh, so that's like 7 guys now. That's great.
Can I actually take out the guy from Succession and my grandpas? Because I think there's like 5 of them.
So just the older gay guys on TikTok then.
Yeah, like the 5 of them. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's great.
Wait,
Wow.
Charlie, who are your old guys?
Oh my God, I was trying to think so hard. Like, who's
I
like
know,
an
it's
old
tough.
guy that like, and who's that old gay
Yeah.
guy who died
Charlie,
recently?
you like writers.
Yeah,
Oh.
but like which who's like a male writer?
Who is alive and old?
Hemingway.
He
No,
has
they
to be
can
alive.
dead.
Oh, they can be dead.
I would say alive.
As long as they got old.
I'm like James Baldwin.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, cool. No, I think they'd have to be alive.
Yeah, you do have to be alive.
You can't be old if you're dead.
You're dead,
Right.
man.
Okie dokie. Because when you die, you're eternally like 22, right?
Yeah, you go back to 22.
Just that you're not alive. Sort of.
22 to you're eternally 22 to 29.
Yeah.
Yeah.
22 to 29, yeah. You go back to the prime like marketing age bracket.
Yeah.
Right. But actually in some cases that is old.
18 to 35 year olds.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's right.
Oh.
You know,
I guess the oldest you can be is dead.
right. Right.
Well,
So do I still have to
know.
answer
I
the
consider it
prompt?
more of a freeze. Yeah, of course. Of course, honey.
No, I don't want to. There's that old gay guy Leslie.
Yeah. Jordan?
Leslie.
My mom's
Yeah.
neighbor is another old gay guy, and he always wears a fur
Right.
coat, even in the summer. And he has
Well.
claimed to
Yeah.
be both a doctor and a lawyer and a chiropractor and a professional violinist.
Shut the fuck
And
up.
I think that's kind of a cool combo. So I'm going to say him.
Yeah. No, that's we found the perfect old man.
Don't say claimed, Charlie.
Yeah,
He is.
Sorry, he is a professional violinist. He's a chiropractor. He's a doctor, and he's a lawyer.
Wow.
He's very talented, and he always wears a fur coat.
Well, some of those go together.
A violinist and doctor is like, yeah,
He works with his hands.
of course you're going to be.
And
both
he's
of
a
those.
liar.
Yeah, he works with his hands. He's a surgeon, and he
Right.
practices.
That's all. They're all very
Yeah.
left brain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's fine.
Well, I love him. What's his name?
It's not like that for us.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. It's private. It's private.
Yeah.
Let me say, I met these 2 gay guys at a show at the Bell House.
Congrats.
You know that gay guy? I don't know. Do you guys like talk shit on this podcast?
Yeah, we can talk
Sure,
shit.
we can.
Basically, just these 2 guys were there, and they after the show were so nice, and they were old, and they were like, "We loved your set," and I was talking to them, and they were like, "We live on Carrie Bradshaw Street in the West Village," and I was like, "I want to marry you guys, legit." They were so happy and sweet together. End of story.
I'm sorry. This is you talking shit.
That's the talking shit.
No, I skipped over it because I realized it's not nice to hurt people.
Okay.
Put it in the
Well,
Patreon.
I
Put it in the
realized
Put it on
Patreon.
Patreon, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
That'll be a whole episode. Wait, I have a question. So you've both done this podcast separately.
Yeah.
I want to know, how does it feel to be back as a duo? Do you feel empowered? Do you feel like your light is dimmed by your co-host being here as well? I want to know, give me the deep psychological traumas.
Go ahead, Charlie.
I'm pretty excited to have to have Natalie on.
Yeah, buddy.
because I think there are going to be moments where I'm like, you know what? I know that it's right for a guest to speak, and maybe like I don't need to right now personally. And so that's a good moment for example, Natalie to speak in this case.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I already felt grateful, like when you guys were talking about some random shit before, like I don't know what it was, like movies or something, and I didn't have anything to say, and I just sat back, and Charlie had it.
Yeah.
So I feel good.
There really is nothing better than being with your comedic partner and just sort of like zoning out and being like, oh, yeah, I'll take this one for sure.
Yeah.
Totally.
There's a lot of times where it's like, Natalie's got this, and we're not going to overlap, and that's amazing, actually.
And vice versa, of course.
Yeah.
It sort of makes you think maybe should be a sort of buddy system in normal life where you can just go around life with someone that is your buddy, and whenever you feel like you need to tap out, they can step in.
George, that's called marriage. That is called monogamous marriage.
Legit.
This is the thing that Natalie does, though, a little bit. Natalie really taught me that in a conversation. Someone would, like, I'll be in a conversation with Natalie where, like, somebody will ask Natalie about a story that I'll know, and she'll be like, Charlie, can you actually take this one? And I'm like, no problem. And I'll just recount it. Like, that option is available to you if you let it. You know what I mean? Or like, someone be like, how are you, Charlie? And I'm like, I actually don't know if I can really answer that. Like, Natalie, can you take this one right now?
Mm-hmm. And then you can.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about, I was recently at a party with a friend, like a close friend, and there was a person we didn't really know that we were talking to, and that friend I was with like checked the fuck out, and like I was having to do like 100% of the like, so what neighborhood are you in, whatever. And it was like, you know, if you didn't know the friend, maybe you'd be like, oh, they're just chilling, listening, but like I was kind of like, all right, so you're done. So I got this, and it was like a heavy lift, and the person walked away and they were like, I'm sorry. And I was like, what the hell was that? Like, that is actually so crazy. And like, but you can't do it with a friend or a husband, ideally.
That is one of the sacred bonds of marriage.
Yeah. How do you feel about, I used to think it was a real sign of intimacy if, let's say Sam and I are meeting someone new. I say something like, you know, Sam always talks about how he blah, blah, blah. It's like I'm talking on behalf of Sam as a way to show A, how close we are, and B, like to bring something of his out that maybe he is not, that he like didn't think of at the time. Do you feel like that is a sign of intimacy, or do you think that's weirdly vampiric and actually toxic?
I think it's a sign of intimacy, but it can be like this kind of performance.
Yes,
you guys know this
exactly.
Maria Bamford joke about that thing of like talking to a couple and he doesn't
like onions.
Couple. Yeah, exactly. Well, he doesn't like onions, like doing that kind of voice. Yeah. And it's like when you are in a relationship, it is like that. You're like, he falls asleep so quickly, and I'm always left there. Yes. And what am I doing? I'm still awake. It's this whole little performance.
Yeah, I actually did that with Sam recently, and I sort of overstepped where I was like, do you remember, Sam, we were recording with someone and I said something like, well, Sam fetishizes when people smell bad. And Sam was like, no, I don't. Like, I don't fetishize it. I just like have said in the past that I don't mind it as much. Yeah. And I was like, so he's fully obsessed. He literally like sticks his head in a toilet after someone has taken a shit because he loves when things smell bad.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's tough because it's also like, the person that you're doing the story for, like maybe they didn't think of it, but like there might be a reason they're not telling it.
Totally.
Which is like a tricky dance.
Right.
And sometimes you like give it a little like nudge, like you're like, yeah, well that's like, what you had in school. And the person's like, yeah.
I actually hate that.
You're like, got it.
When someone does that, I'm like, okay, at this point, this is not about you. Like, I was trying to be helpful to you, but at this point, you're making me look bad.
Yeah, but maybe it's like, you did the bad in the first place.
I have a really embarrassing example.
Not you, George. Yeah. Someone else.
An embarrassing example of this where I was in a professional setting on Zoom where there were like 5 people I don't know, and one person that was on there is like a close friend, and the friend commented on like something on my wall and was like, oh, is that new? Like, you got a painting? And I was like, oh, you've seen that before. Like, trying to like be like, we are friends. And she had been to my apartment multiple times, so it wasn't insane. But she was like, well, I've never been in your bedroom. And I was like, yeah, but like all the 5 people are like looking at us right now being like, he's telling you. It looked like I was like so desperate for friends, like to be like, well, we're besties. And it's like, we actually are. And it was so deeply embarrassing to be like, well, you've seen that painting before. And she was like, no, I haven't.
When the border of private and public is blurred, in that like you are having half a private conversation with that person and half doing a performance, a literal like 2-person performance for an audience. And you're like, oh my God, like, can I just pull the curtain, pull the curtain, pull the curtain?
Horrible.
And you're literally like, you have to. Okay, I hate when you're dating someone and they're at your apartment and you have roommates. I don't know if you guys are living that lifestyle really, but you're not.
It's been a while.
But try and get in the mindset, Charlie.
I know about
and
this.
like you're in the kitchen or whatever, and your roommate's like in the room next door, and you have to be like, and you're having the conversation you were gonna have, but like,
my God,
everyone is aware that there's like someone else there, and if you're not talking to that person, it's better to just bring them in, because otherwise it's just like your thing is on display. Like,
well, wait, in both ways, like roommate to roommate, and there's this third party, like roommate to roommate, and there's a partner
I find that tolerable.
Right.
I think roommate to roommate, partner there, it's like, the partner can just be there. Sometimes, there's a lot of leeway for a partner just like standing there.
You to partner and a roommate is present. It becomes this thing of like, then you do this performative, like,
it's a disaster because it's like, oh, this is our big private thing.
Yeah.
This is how we are behind closed doors, and someone else is there, and it's like, oh my God, it sends a shudder down my spine.
Oh my, and this fake, oh my God, but you're like last time when we were chopping and you said you got it and you cut yourself, and it's like this awareness that a third party is like you're actually giving exposition a little bit because of your aware that the other person is there.
Oh, that's so you.
Like the last time we talked about this and you said, it's like, no.
Did your 2 siblings, Mary and John, call?
Yeah. I mean, when I had roommates and was dating Misha, it was like we would truly, I feel like I would just be like fully a cold, heartless person when we were in the public space, because I was like, no, this is private. Like, don't speak to me until we're in my room. Like,
don't speak to me. He's just like, hey, and you're like, it's
they can't know anything about us.
Yeah.
It's so funny when you have roommates how your room randomly is this like ultra private space. Like, even if you're friends with your roommates, it's like you act like the door to that room is like a whole nother universe. And like you have to just pretend, you know what I mean? Like,
Can I say something about this whole negotiation of like who the audience is and who your conversation partner is? It's just another piece of proof that life is a cabaret. Which is something that I have always. I'm not like making a joke. I'm like, the idea that life is a cabaret is
not making
the idea that life is a cabaret is one of the most profound.
Prove it.
It's one of the most profound statements ever uttered. Like, it literally is a cabaret, because at any given point there are performers and there's an audience, and it keeps switching in a way that feels very cabaret-esque.
Yeah. It happens all the time in like big group conversations. This is the thing I noticed recently. Like whenever it's like, there's like 6 people talking, it's like, no, there's like 2.5 people talking and 3.5 people listening is what's happening.
If everyone's talking?
No, actually it's like in a big group, it usually is just like 2 people talking, 1 person kind of jumping in, and everybody else just listening.
Mm-hmm.
And you just literally watch people's like eyes go back and forth, but like tennis. It's literally
I don't understand the listeners, and I'm afraid of them.
Okay, but here's the thing.
End of the day, I fear them desperately.
Right.
I am so with you, Natalie. I would never be my natural instinct is not to be a listener. But the listeners of this podcast might be shocked to hear that, but it's true. But the thing is, sometimes, and this is one of the most unnatural and ungodly things that can happen, is if you're not a natural listener, sometimes you will find yourself in a conversation where you do have nothing to contribute, and you just find yourself in the position of being a listener, and then you feel so uncomfortable. And you also try to overcompensate by making like weird sounds. Like people will be talking and you'll be like,
Well, but to me, I appreciate that. Like, I'm like, that's not just being a listener. You know what I mean? Like, even if you have nothing to say, like just doing stuff, I think
vocals.
is good. Well, doing a little shoo-wop doo-wop is actually greatly appreciated.
Yeah, it's like people are talking back and forth and you keep being like,
yes. Yes.
I think I might be a listener, to be honest. Like,
I think you are, Sam. Yeah.
I actually love when people are like going kind of ham on the conversation, and I get to be like, you guys are like needy. Like, I get to pull back and sort of be like, look inward.
Well, that's exactly why I'm afraid of listeners, is because that's what they're thinking.
Yeah. Well, but also, Sam, you have, I don't know how much you know this about yourself, but you have a very expressive face when you're listening.
Sure. Especially when I'm looking in this beautiful camera and I'm saying, oh, well, they're going to be seeing that.
Wait, this was us, like Natalie and I feel like are not listeners. And like in the first 12 minutes of the episode when we're not like allowed to talk and we're both responding to things and doing like the biggest fucking mugging of our lives. We're literally like, you're like, is it one or two? And we were both like, we're like holding up our fingers one and mouthing it so loud.
Oh, that's so funny.
Giving it our all. We wanted to be in so bad.
So true.
Yeah. Well, it was really kind of you to not. I mean, you could.
I took notes actually.
I think
on
you
a
guys.
sticky note.
I actually saw you.
I
taking
actually was
notes.
seeing that, and it was actually I was like, I wanted you to address the notes that you took.
I know.
Yeah.
Any thoughts?
Address the notes.
Well, I had something to say about when at one point Sam was frozen. Or yeah, like, and George, you were like, Sam, you're frozen. And it's like so funny to say you're frozen to someone because it's like, no, I'm not. Like someone's like, oh, Charlie, you're frozen. I'm like, I'm literally not frozen. Like, I'm not frozen. Don't say that. It's like, it's the same thing.
Like when people on the phone are like, you're breaking up. And I'm like, you are.
No, I'm not. I'm not. You're breaking up. You're breaking up right now. It's not me.
You're breaking up.
I actually hear myself perfectly.
Right.
You actually, to me, are the one. It literally is an attack.
Right.
That was my main one. The other stuff is actually logistical stuff.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Oh, I think the fiscal year starts in July.
Fiscal year.
It's July.
Wait, is that true?
Is that true?
How do you know that?
Yeah, because I used to work for a year in fundraising for a nonprofit.
Well,
Or the fiscal year for them started in July.
I think that might be because
That's nonprofit vibes. They're like, we start in July.
Yeah,
that is so
Why would
nonprofit.
they do that?
What?
Why would they start in July? I can't get in that headspace.
Because they're just like allergic to making money and making sense.
Right.
And that's why
Literally.
That's right.
that's why no social problems will ever be solved by nonprofits. No offense, of course.
Yeah. All love. Keep trying.
Keep trying for sure.
I love that.
Give it a shot.
Keep trying, but I will be giving my money to the federal government.
Same.
The army. Yeah. And I just did.
And specifically the army. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna write a little note when I send my money that says to army.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, if at all possible, please send as much of this money to foreign bases.
Make this a helicopter that shoots from all sides. Thank you.
Oh my God.
Aw.
I think we have to do our first segment.
We literally do.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm saying
All right.
that apologetically, but also in an empowering way because I think that we are ready.
I don't think you have a thing to be sorry about.
Yeah.
As you both know, our first segment is called Straight Shooters. And in this segment, we ask you a series of rapid fire questions to gauge your familiarity with and complicity in straight culture. And you have to say one thing or another thing. And the one rule is you can't ask any follow-up questions. Do you copy?
Yeah, but can we say stuff?
I am sorry.
That's a
Natalie.
question.
That's...
You guys, I don't like this shit where you don't tell me stuff I want to know.
The fact that you think that tension is not part of it, that it's unintentional rather than the entire point of the
Oh, we
segment.
started already. Okay, all right, go ahead. I'm very much okay, go
I
ahead.
have a
Okay.
question.
Yeah, you have to
How are we
hold
going to
that.
do it logistically?
Well, you guys have to figure that out. I can't answer that.
Yeah,
Okay,
we
okay.
can. And
Yeah.
and by the way, you're already starting at you guys have like approximately negative 300 points at this point
Okay.
Yeah.
with all the questions.
For every point we lose, you take money away from a family, right?
Yes.
That's a question. That's a question. No questions.
Okay. Charlie,
Yeah.
we'll just figure it out.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. All right, we'll start simple. Being a pioneering woman in STEM or being an arrogant and toxic man in the humanities?
Oh my God.
Pioneering woman in STEM.
Being a pioneering woman in STEM, yeah. Because honestly,
Wow.
I was feeling like that sounds really hard, but then I'm
Right.
realizing, like, you know what? If I am one, then I am one.
Yeah.
So I don't have to worry about being one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the game.
It is a tough choice because you're like, of course, a pioneering woman in STEM, then you're like, what if then she ends up founding a company that has bad labor practices? But then an arrogant and toxic man in the humanities could actually be a huge issue.
Really bad.
Yeah.
Well, he's actually going to be annoying, which is worse.
Annoying.
Right, and that's more immediate.
Yeah, what's worse, exploiting your employees or being annoying? I would say the latter.
Annoying. The moment you said that thing about the toxic man and the humanities, I pictured like, you know, when a guy like sits down and puts his crosses his leg like this, and he has like his sock showing a little bit under his pants.
Yes.
He's wearing like a fun sock, maybe.
And like raises his hand in class, and I want to shoot him.
I know. And you know what? It legitimately stems from outdated gender stereotypes, because you want the man to be strong and not weak, and his exposed sock and like disgusting hairy leg is you're like, why aren't you in the army? Why are you studying philosophy? Sorry.
Yeah, I guess a part of it is like, why are you like, and maybe it's a thing of like, you're so fucking proud that you're bookish,
Yes,
aren't you?
yes.
Like,
Yeah.
clap for the bookish guy. Like, what do you want? A blowjob?
Yeah. And he's like, oh, yeah.
Actually, yeah, that sounds kind of great. I also think that particular leg crossing, which it's funny that we have 8 of these and we're stuck on the first one, but the particular style of leg crossing, it is a sort of a no homo leg crossing, because there is a way to cross your leg in a feminine way that is like, yeah, and it's like actually more normal.
To me, it's the gender tension of being like, okay, you're doing this feminized thing, which is like being smart,
Right.
And so you're pushing against that by like being like, but actually, look at my hairy leg, and look at my like wide open legs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's like, if you're gonna do it, just do it. Like if you're gonna be
gay,
like a gay little guy doing like books, then that's fine. But be a gay little guy, and there's obviously a way to do that,
right?
And you can be straight and still be a gay little guy. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah,
exactly.
We've talked about this a lot.
If you're, reading,
if you're reading, congratulations.
And especially if you're writing.
I mean, writing. Come on.
And it's like appreciate
okay,
the
Carrie
culture that
Bradshaw.
you're in.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my God, writing. It's like, okay, like literally, what is that? Your diary?
Right.
Yeah, it's like, okay, there's like little guys in your head that you're thinking about. Like, okay.
Right.
I'm gonna show up to a reading by Carlo Nosgard and be like, okay, so you're giving Carrie Bradshaw.
Serving. He's at his computer. He's like, and I just couldn't help it.
It's like, I couldn't help but wonder, is the human condition a sleigh? Okay, Sam,
Kind of what she was like.
Okay.
take it away.
Okay. The next one. Tripping balls or standing tall?
Tripping balls.
To me, standing tall.
Wow.
Attending the big premiere or defending the term queer?
Attending the big premiere.
Attending the big premiere.
I want to go.
Okay.
I'm getting activated.
Get me to the premiere.
I know you're
Don't make me talk about words.
Yeah.
Okay. All's quiet on the Western Front, or let's get loud. Let's get loud.
We're gonna let's get loud. To me.
Yeah, you
Let's
got
get
it.
loud, yeah.
Okay,
For sure.
being problematic or being emblematic of larger systemic issues?
Oh, wow. I
Being-
mean, I'd rather be emblematic.
Oh, I'm gonna choose problematic.
Oh,
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Disagreement.
It's a little feistier.
Love the sinner, hate the sin, or love the skin you're in with Olay?
Love the sinner, hate the sin. I really try and live by that.
Yeah. Me too. Love the sinner, hate the sin.
You gotta love
Whoa.
the sinner. You gotta
But you
love
gotta
the
hate that
sinner.
sin, though.
yeah.
Yeah.
You hate the sin,
On the
but
one hand, I love
okay,
the
but who do
sinner.
you love?
Yeah.
Sinner,
The
right?
sinner. Yeah.
There's an amazing guy in there.
And love the skin you're in. It's like, don't tell me what to do.
Yeah. Also, why,
No.
why the emphasis on skin? It seems a little arbitrary to me.
Olay.
Olay. Oh, because I guess they make skincare.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I guess I get that
Right.
now. So
It seems random.
Yeah.
Oh, right. That's their only thing.
okay, this one you really have to pay attention. Getting
Oh, my fly is open.
oh,
This can't be a video
Interesting.
episode anymore.
Video's canceled.
it's been then the camera has been zoomed in on your fly this whole time, so it really has ruined the footage.
My pussy's like out. It's like out right here. Pink, big pussy the whole time. I'm like, yeah, so basically all's quiet on the Western Front.
Okay,
Would you guys say something, or how would you?
If your pussy was out.
If my pussy was out, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we mention it to you.
I think ultimately what would happen is
Maybe Charlie would text
we would
me.
assume probably that you were making a joke,
Oh.
that it was intentional, and so we would sort of make a bit out of it. Right?
Right.
That's how much we trust you
Yeah.
as an artist, and we trust your intent at all times.
I feel like every single thing you have ever done is with intent.
It's with intent, and I know that. And it is. Go ahead, keep playing the game.
Getting off your high horse or getting on a low dose of Vyvanse.
Oh. This is smart, you guys, because they
Yeah.
are kind of in opposition. And it's a thing
Yep.
I'm thinking about
Right.
in both ways.
Yeah. I will get off my high horse.
Yeah.
Because I love that song, the Casey Musgraves one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Vyvanse made me like so annoying and weird.
Yeah.
So
If I have to be real with myself, it's Vyvanse.
Yeah.
It's not what I want, but it is true. So
Yeah.
for
be
me,
true.
no, I just
Something
have to
they're
be
true.
honest.
Okay. A free and fair election or a friend of a friend connection?
Oh. I think free and fair election.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Me too.
I don't know. I just think it's important.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's really nice.
I think it matters.
I think it matters, yeah. And sometimes there's a lot of pressure with the friend of the friend stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
so
can
I'd
be
rather
really
just-
tough.
Oh, how do you know Maricel?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to do that.
Right. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
yeah, she
really
is like
tough.
that sometimes.
Right.
Oh, the worst actually is when you meet someone's friend who they like, maybe they're not even there. Like, say you move to a new city and it's like, oh, I'm going to set you up with my friend, like as a friend.
Right.
And you guys will get along so well. You're both so funny. And then you meet the person and you're like, oh no, you
Yeah.
think I'm this?
Right. That's when you find out what they think of you.
Yeah,
Right.
that's tough. But that was the entire game. George,
Yeah.
what
How do you
they
think
got?
they did, Sam?
Oh, I was
Oh,
going to say
Lord.
123 doves.
Out of 1,000?
Yeah. They showed utter disdain for the rules. They disrespected
Crap.
our time and our listeners' time. And
Oh my God. We did
Wow, that's
so
so
bad.
crazy. I've actually never heard Sam give someone that low of a score.
Are we the lowest ever?
That actually makes me feel really special.
I think that is literally the lowest score we've ever given. And I'm really shocked because I really want to yes and my comedy partner, but I really was not expecting that, to be honest. I was having a pretty good time while we were doing that. And I thought you guys were like playing with it and sort of
Right.
being
I mean, we were
charming.
like mostly trying our hardest. Which is kind of
and I actually
devastating.
I
Right.
could really see
Outcome.
I could really see both of you taking it seriously, and I sort of thought that when you disagreed, it was like fun and pointed to almost made your partnership stronger that you disagreed on.
And we tried both things. Like sometimes we just said it and didn't explain.
Exactly.
Sometimes we said it and
Exactly.
explained.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
But you
well, I
know
guess I
what?
talked about my pussy a lot. Maybe that wasn't so right.
Minus
Maybe that
900
didn't feel, like,
points.
so part of the game. That's like catching the snitch. It's like an
Yeah.
automatic like fail.
You know what though?
Yeah.
I can
That's,
sort of
like, the
see.
opposite.
Okay, so to me, I'm like, basically, the biggest strength and the biggest weakness of your performance was that you did so much. It was so diverse. You did every possible thing you could do. You agreed, you disagreed, you were serious, you were funny, you took it seriously, you took it as a joke. You were
Yeah,
like
we went genital.
silly, and then you were intellectual. And so maybe I am sort of like, wow, you are. That all amounted to a sort of a sense of playfulness and camp that I responded to. But then for Sam, maybe Sam, you were like, commit to one thing.
Right.
Well, I wanted to know who you were. I wanted through this game for you to tell us who you are as a performer, as an artist, as a person. And I felt like you were sort of, saying like, look at all the different directions I could go in. And it was like,
Yeah.
well, you're not getting personal with us. And
Yeah. Okay.
that's what that game is really about. Yeah.
Very confessional.
I really appreciate the note. And if we make it to the next round, to me it's not so important. Like our score, like I know that we're just focused on like improving and getting better and learning. And so I want to promise that if you do advance us to the next round, we will take that really to heart and we're going to work hard. You know, this means so much to us. So I appreciate that.
You know, it's interesting because you say it means so much and yet you somehow think there's another round, despite the fact that you've been on the podcast now 3 times.
Well, George and I will,
by the way.
Yeah. If you guys don't mind going.
Is your 4th time on, Charlie?
Is that true?
Yeah.
Well,
if
including
you include
the live show.
one.
Yeah.
Oh,
barely.
right.
And also, if you include the episodes,
Oh my God, you guys basically hate me.
if you include the episodes where we just talk about Charlie in the entire episode, then it's probably his 8th.
Those are my favorite episodes.
Yeah.
It would be a whole game. I mean, I love it.
Wow.
Yeah. So I trust that I'll have another shot.
Right. Oh, I see. So in fact, I was wrong. You were right that like there will be a next round in the sense that next time you're on.
Yeah.
Which statistically will be in approximately 5 weeks.
Yeah. I won't be having to sit by my email for too long.
Whereas Natalie, this is sort of your one chance.
I know. And I kind of remember blowing it last time too. Can we do something that I would do really well on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Rapid fire. You guys ask me, you say the name of a grade and I tell you what age a kid is in that grade.
Whoa.
Okay. Okay, this is great.
Okay, 7th.
13.
Okay. 10th.
I don't know.
Okay, second.
7.
I'm gonna be honest. You got the second one wrong.
I cannot believe you got 7th grade right and then couldn't add 3 to get 10. After your big chance to redeem yourself after Sam gave you a literal F- on your previous performance.
No high school. No high school.
No high school. Are you serious? You guys are going to throw her high school? That's fucked up. That's fucked up of you guys.
No high school.
Obviously no high school. What the fuck are you guys thinking?
Come on.
No, that's true. I'm sorry about that.
All right. Well,
that's like my special. That's my special skill.
clearly.
Yeah, you're really good at it.
So I mean, like, I can juggle, and you hand them 3 knives, and they like murder 4 people in his face. Like, oh my God, I'm reading a really bad book. Sorry.
While we record,
I actually do need. Yeah.
Is that why
Natalie, are you reading right now?
Is that why the 10th grade really tripped you up? Because you were on a really exciting
No,
chapter?
there's murder in it, so it just made me think of it. And then I was thinking, like, you guys are all quite bookish. Actually, Sam, are you?
Wow, drag him to hell.
Drag me. You know, this is what's tough about being in a partnership is that people inherently will make you opposites. Like,
Charlie's about to walk. By the way.
Charlie's
you walk
leaving.
Charlie. Charlie has left the room.
I'm going. Okay, if it's gonna be
Wait,
like this.
Sam, talk about this because it's so important.
As soon as you're in a partnership, people are like, okay, well, if one person's thing is this, then that must mean the other person's thing is the opposite of that. And there are like, yes, of course we have different personalities and different, but it's a spectrum, you know? Like, yes, George, I would argue, is more intellectual than I, but I'm still intellectual and I still read books.
And by the way, people talk to me as though I am a literal virgin because the joke is that like Sam is like more promiscuous than I. It's like, I have had sex.
Yeah, but you sound like a virgin.
Multiple times.
You know what we were saying with Celeste last night that was making us laugh is like, it's like virginity should reset more, and basically like unless you're currently having sex, you are a virgin.
I actually
you're a
agree
virgin
with
now.
that.
I don't remember that.
Completely.
Really?
I agree with that.
Maybe you'd left Natalie by that point.
Maybe even,
Sorry, I was
maybe
talking
even,
to Celeste.
I would say maybe even not, you know, a sort of compromise would be just like it resets every year.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I actually sort of think sexuality.
But to what end?
Well, I think the government should get involved.
Yeah.
And I think you should have a different stamp on your license plate and your driver's license too.
Yeah. And you should be legally required to put it in the census. You know, when was the last time
I put it in my taxes. You get more of a deduction.
Yeah.
I just
If
did
you've had
that.
sex?
Yeah.
If you're a virgin.
You get the sex deduction. It's not much. It's not much.
It's not much.
It's not
a couple
like
thousand.
make or break. Yeah, it's like a few
Couple
thousand.
coffees.
But
Couple coffees.
Couple coffees. Look, that makes a difference. Yeah.
In this town?
Every little bit helps.
Oh my God, that would be so funny if, it's getting closer to tax day. So people are like, okay, I literally have to have sex 35 times in the next 2 days if I'm going to fucking make this cutoff so that I can be in the tax. And so I can be in the sex tax bracket I want to be in.
Right.
That is funny.
That's a good like YA dystopian novel, George.
Yeah, it's very sci-fi, but pretty light.
I actually think it's inappropriate.
What? What's that
I
face?
think it's inappropriate for children, actually, Natalie. And I think
Why? Teenagers are having sex?
No,
Teenagers are
they're
having
not.
I was.
I wasn't.
No,
but
no
respect.
teenagers.
There's that
having sex.
virgin talking, isn't he?
Yeah, show us that driver's license, sweetie.
Just like I thought.
I know how much you're paying in taxes. Anyway, Sam, I didn't mean to say that. I know, I'm sure you read books. I don't read books, so I wasn't like judging you from a different place.
Natalie, you literally have been reading the Da Vinci Code for 2 years.
Yeah, Natalie's always like, I don't read books, and then is constantly reading a book, and you have tons of books in your room.
Well, I have tons of books in my room for sure, but that's because I did a subscription.
A book subscription?
But
A book subscription?
it was a disaster. I honestly can't even talk about it. But
Oh.
the other thing is,
You know what our version of that is? Never mind.
Yeah, please.
No, say it.
what?
I want to know.
Can I do our thing of Lego, one's bookish, is Natalie's Jewish and I'm half Jewish. And that's like our big kind of distinction between the two of us.
That
So
must
you
be really
seem
difficult for
Christian
you
then?
because, I imagine for you, Charlie, it's like you then have to take on the role of the non-Jewish one. And you're like, no, I am Jewish.
Yeah, people like...
Yeah, but I don't know. Oh, do
No, I
people
actually
think you're
don't
not
read-
Jewish?
Remember that one time where I did that Jewish show and the guy was like, I'm a listener to the podcast. I'm surprised to see you here because I thought you weren't Jewish. And I was like, that's just because
really?
next to Natalie. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you seem like
And
a
I was
boy.
like, I still get to be.
Remember
right.
one time you were like, do I seem Jewish? And I was like, well, you start talking.
Yeah,
What
I
is-
love that. Yeah.
But you did love it, right?
Yeah, totally.
Because the stuff
Now I'm
Charlie
gonna play it
says
up.
and the stuff he likes to talk about and is Jewish.
Right. Yeah.
But you kind of look like
Not Jewish.
you don't look Jewish to me.
Yeah.
No.
All right. You can't win
But-
them all.
Yeah. Also, guys, what's happening is I'm listening to audiobooks. Okay.
Oh, I see.
That's valid.
Okay.
You know, I'm going to come
It's
out and
not
say
lesser.
I've
No.
only ever listened to one audiobook in my entire life.
Can I guess what it was?
You're not going to get it, but sure.
Michelle Obama's memoir.
Okay, Harry Potter.
No, but it was nonfiction and memoiristic.
I have no idea.
Tina Brown, Vanity Fair Diaries.
Yes.
Got it.
Yep, that's what it was.
Wow.
Are you
that
serious?
really is?
I just.
Yep, that's really
Yeah.
it.
Why don't you guys go away?
I cannot believe.
Yeah.
No,
How about
JK.
you go be partners?
Because it's so good. It's like famously a memoir. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
people were talking about it. I got it. No
yeah,
worries.
it was a sort of
Wow.
classic. Like people were talking about it, and it is I never really read. To be honest, I don't read a lot of book length nonfiction, and I also never really read memoir.
I mean, I'll
stuff.
admit that.
And I was like, well, what a great excuse. It's basically like, what, Natalie?
We're whispering at a party later. Did you hear? George told me that he doesn't read a lot of book length nonfiction,
Book length. No.
especially in the memoir space.
Shh, he's coming.
Shut up.
Hi, George.
So, read any good book length nonfiction memoirs, please?
Sam.
Sam, what's the one thing that we tend not to talk about?
Short.
I mean, short. I mean, no, short story length.
Short stories. Okay, we actually have to get into the topic because, Natalie, not to call you out toxically, that you do have a hard out in approximately 25 minutes.
Oh wow,
Shit.
that's
You're
crazy.
right. Sorry, guys. I have to go nanny.
Well, no, that when we heard that you had a hard out, I was like, well, we'll never go that long. We'll never even possibly hit that
Yeah.
time. And then, of course, once we started, it's like, oh, that's really easy to get to.
Yeah.
Oh.
How slay that it was like, my people told your people that I had a heart out.
That's
like,
slay.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
slay.
No.
That's actually movie star lifestyle.
Yeah, that's very
what
Bill
we
Murray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You the word hard out.
Yeah, the word hard out.
I know.
When I hear the word hard out, I'm like, oh, rich. You're rich.
I'm hard out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, your pussy's out.
I'm pussy out.
Sorry, guys. I have a pussy out at 3.
I have a pussy out at 3. Okay, so I would love it if both of you introduced your chosen topic, your topic of choice, and then told us a little bit about what is straight about it and why you chose it tonight.
Okay.
Okay. Tonight.
This evening. Okay. Do you want to say it at the same time?
Yes.
Okay, we have to get the wording right.
Okay.
Should I text you? So we have.
Okay, they're mouthing it to each other. Okay.
That's right. Okay. Okay. Ready?
So our topic of what is straight is some, though not all, bars.
Wow.
Wow.
So once again, some though not all bars.
Some, though not all
Some,
bars.
though not all.
We love our topic.
Yeah.
Like, we love it. Charlie came up with it, and I laughed for like 4 days.
Yeah, it
Wow.
felt so good, you guys. It was amazing.
Because basically, to me, it's like you like the way that you guys live.
Gay guys?
By you guys, you mean gay guys, right?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
But yeah, it's seeming like that. Like, you love to go to bars, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And I'm
yeah.
counting myself in this too.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
Oh,
gay
sure.
people are always going to bars.
Well, you're sort of a gay guy in that you're a gay girl.
Yeah.
right.
So you're sort of halfway there.
Yeah.
I know. But
That's
my
another
love
of
for
our
gay
like
guys
polar
is
things like you guys
Just
have.
that you're a different
Oh,
gender.
yeah.
Right.
Gay guy versus gay girl.
Guy,
It's like,
Yeah,
gay
for
girl.
sure.
Right. No, totally. And it is. And it comes up all the time.
Okay.
literally.
Anyways, what am I saying? Basically, like, gay bars are such like a big thing for gay people.
Yeah.
They're always going there. And even if the bar is not like gay explicitly, it's like queerish or whatever. And so much so that you could actually forget that there are hundreds of thousands of bars in the globe that are only for straight people, basically, and configured in such a way that you would not even have fun there.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even have fun.
Yeah.
You guys.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm testing my limits with that.
I want you to paint a picture, sort of. What is the bar you're thinking of? Like, I'm definitely seeing a pool table. I'm definitely seeing sports playing on the multiple TVs.
Yeah. Right. Well, it's tricky because there is like a dykiness to a pool table. So that I actually wouldn't even put,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
you know.
No pool table.
I would say there's girls there
Yeah.
and there's guys there.
Okay.
Right? And they're together in groups, like 7 guys, 7 girls, and they're not exactly intermingled. You know, there's like more guys on one side, more girls on one side,
Yeah.
but they're still there together. The girls are wearing blue jeans and a black top.
Okay. Oh, of course.
And of course. And the guys, I'm not sure what the guys are wearing.
Do you think we're talking like khakis, button down, Red Sox cap?
Yeah, I actually do.
Yeah, that
I
feels
do.
right to me.
I think it's like we're talking like happy hour in Midtown, basically.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
And hockey on the TV.
Yeah, we're gonna have like a sport. I think it's also there's gonna be like flirting maybe between men and women, which is something that you really wouldn't see
At a gay bar.
at a gay bar. It's a little bit more unlikely. And to me, like that's actually like when I've seen that,
Right.
that's
Maybe a queer space you would.
right. Maybe a queer space, but you
Yeah.
know, it's less prevalent. And that's one way I know that I'm at, you know, one of these straight bars is that I'm like, what is going on here? Like, why is that guy talking to that girl like that? Why is his hand kind of like on the back of her chair?
Right.
Why is she like
Why
turning
is it
towards
sliding
him?
down?
Right, like what's exactly going on here? And what often is happening in these kinds of spaces is there actually is like
Right.
kind of a romantic or even sexual flirting between the genders.
Those two.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's a good point.
I would argue that something that brings up, I feel like even within the genders, there's like aggression towards each other. Like I think the scariest parts of those bars is feeling like men are mad at me. Like I'm like, you like think I'm either like gay, which bad, gay pejorative, or
Yeah.
you think I'm like coming for the girls.
Right.
And the
no,
girls
it's
are
it's
yours.
scarcity mindset in those places.
Yeah.
Do you know what's
Yeah.
even scarier? Get this. When you feel like the girls are mad at you. Because sometimes at a straight bar, you expect the girls to be desperate for a gay BFF, and then you get there and you realize, no, they're on the prowl,
No.
and
Yeah.
you are
They want
like,
guys.
you are truly like a little obstacle in a video game that they have to get past.
Right. Like
Yeah.
move out of my way.
Move out of my way. Get
Yeah.
out of my way, Kylie Minogue.
Get out of my way.
Yeah.
Sometimes in those spaces, I'm like, why isn't anyone like looking at me?
yeah.
This sucks.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
sexually. Do you know what I mean? Like, why am I being like looked up and down?
Why
Yeah.
are you being looked up and down, or are you not?
No, why not?
Yeah.
Why
But you're
not?
not being looked up and down?
Right.
No,
It's
not really.
You basically couldn't feel more random.
Yeah.
Like when I'm in those spaces, I'm like, I literally am not even here. Like you go to get a drink and the bartender is like, "Are you sure? Like, is that
No,
really
you don't
what you want
register.
here?"
You don't
Right,
register as human. You're not recognized by the state as really an
Not in
attendee
those-
of the
a
bar.
drinking
Yeah.
individual.
Yeah.
No.
I feel like there's something that's like you don't realize how much of having fun at a bar, even if you're only talking to your friends, is the like idea of potential sexual energy in
An
the air.
ambient
you know?
sexual,
Even if
yeah.
you never act on it, you just go there for that.
Yeah.
And so when you go into a straight bar, like there's a real deadness of like, I know exactly what's going to happen here.
Right.
I'm going to be with these people and then I'm going to leave. Like there's no secret surprise coming up.
Can I say something that's nice about it? Actually, like there is this invisibility, right? And that actually can be sometimes the most private place in the world to have a conversation with like another
Totally.
gay guy.
Right.
Like I've actually
Completely
like
anonymous.
when I've had like moments where I'm
Yeah.
like, I really need to be like in the most private possible of spaces right now. We're gonna find like a sports bar and we're just gonna be two gay guys in the corner that people, it's almost like people are kind of like, I can't even see that.
Yeah.
And you don't get
you're
service.
basically in witness protection.
Right, you're
Yeah.
basically
Well,
witness
can I
protection.
tell you something? I one time was at a very, very straight bar with a gay man, and we hooked up in the bathroom and then came out and there was a line around the bathroom because we had not we had not realized that it was a single stall. We thought there were also urinals. And so we just sort
I
of
love this
got out.
story.
We got out and then just had to like do a little head nod, like a straight head nod at all the straight men that were lined up. And then
Right.
I will end
Tying his
I will
shoes.
end the story with this. You better believe I then realized I forgot my glasses in the stall and had to go back and get them.
Oh no.
Ah, did you have to wait on the whole line again?
Yeah.
Does that sound like virgin behavior to you? Does that sound like virgin
No.
behavior to
No.
you?
I'm feeling schooled as fuck.
But I'll say this, like the fact that it happened in a straight space, infinitely hotter than if it was at a gay bar.
right.
Totally.
For sure.
Well, it is the thing of if you're hooking up with another gay guy at a gay bar, it's like right on schedule. You know what I mean? You're
Yeah, it's like,
what are we
okay, straight A
transgressing
student,
here?
you're doing what you're supposed to do. Fine. You passed
exactly.
the AP course.
Right. You know what's transgressive in a gay
Totally.
bar is to be like lonely as fuck.
Yes.
To be like
Yes.
sad and like kind of feeling weird. Yeah.
And that can be one of the horniest possible things. You're just like rock hard and
Yeah.
lonely.
Rock hard and lonely at a gay bar, literally alone. And other
Right. That's
a
what that
beautiful
Robin
little
song is
song
about.
lyric. Yeah,
Yeah.
rock hard and lonely.
Rock hard and lonely at a gay bar is the title of Lana Del Rey's new album.
It's so beautiful.
when you were rock hard, I was lonely in the gay bar. Want to do it?
I also think both spaces there's drinking. We can agree on this.
Right.
No matter culturally where you stand, there's drinking.
Right.
And often heavy drinking.
Yeah.
I think in both spaces
Sure.
it's sort of indulgent and people are being a bit bad. But for some reason when I'm in the gay bar and people are being bad and sort of if they do shots, I'm like, how celebratory. Like doing shots in the face of so much. like like you were just a boy
Choosing
coming out of the closet to
joy.
your parents and now
Yeah.
you're doing a shot at a bar in New York City. And then when it's like a guy doing a shot at a straight bar, I'm like, you need to find help. Like you need to turn your life around. You
Couldn't agree with you more.
You need a family and you need to like show some responsibility.
And honestly, you need to quit drinking. Like, I don't know if straight guys should be drinking. Like, do we need
Literally.
them to get like super loose and
You
comfortable?
are so right. I actually do think straight guys need to stop drinking across the board.
Like,
Right,
what's
literally.
the best case scenario if a straight guy is drinking? He falls asleep.
Literally.
I think, yeah. Or he like becomes, he opens a brewery.
Yeah.
That's best case.
Yeah, best case.
But that guy's
Yeah,
sober.
I guess that's true.
The best case for me is that the guy gets drunk and then is like, oh wait, I actually do want to touch this man's back. a little bit.
I'm gay. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess the best case scenario is literally that guy hooks up with Sam.
Yeah. If you ban all straight guys drinking, then
Right.
you know you might never have to get.
You miss
the ones
out
who are
on some
gay
of that
when
like
they're
kind
drunk.
of back touching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so hard.
Some of them like to touch your back.
Might be worth it. Yeah.
This is why policy is so tricky.
Yes,
Yes,
100%.
yes,
You're so right,
100%.
Charlie. And I actually have another point, which is another thing that is the best case scenario is the following. they buy everyone around.
Whoa.
Right.
Oh, I love when they do that.
Because that's a classic drunk straight guy thing to do. And it's sort of like a healthy way to assert one's masculinity is to be like, I'm daddy, and then buy everyone around.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think that's right.
I'm
That's
playing with
really
the
right.
idea of exploring that as a mode.
like buying
everyone
around.
Taking that culture from the straight bar, like I've seen it, I know it, and then like what would it be like to sort of express masculinity like that? I'm curious about that. So just look out
I
for
feel
that.
like it's very gay to like
Expressing masculinity through not gifts, but through what's the word I'm looking
buying
for?
everyone around.
Yeah, but like not
Financial magnanimity.
Yeah.
Providing through.
Magnanimity maybe is what I'm looking for, Charlie.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Why Charlie?
Oh, isn't that what Charlie said?
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
And it's also
Okay.
like it
It's
is quite literally redistributed.
jealousy jumped out.
It's also like
Yeah, I was like, oh, so Charlie's smarter than everyone. Okay, so Charlie's smarter than Natalie and Charlie's smarter than me.
we
so
were
Charlie has the
actually
word.
sent here to break you.
okay. It's also
Like I start with like you don't read books, and then like George ignores you for Charlie, and then
The virgin stuff.
asserting masculinity through the redistribution of wealth.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, there you go.
It could be amazing.
Perfect.
So I'm not saying with like some though not all bars. It's like it's not like we have nothing to learn. Do you know what I mean? Like there's
course.
pieces of because you know what else actually can be a thing, maybe is more of a thing in a straight coded bar, is like an activity. Maybe that's not always true.
darts.
Like
yeah.
a dart. Like I am seeing a dart in that kind of space.
Though again, I do think that like lesbian bars kind of have that
Right. But
type of
I
thing.
even think more seating. I actually think straight bars actually are kind of seating oriented a lot of the time. And
You're right.
Gay bars could actually learn to have some more seating.
Right.
that.
And because then also, especially if you can like pull the chairs away when it's like 10 p.m. and it's time to dance. or
Right,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. If you have a closet for your chairs, you're a king, basically. Because you get two spaces for one.
You're literally royalty.
Right, exactly.
Well, what about the thing from straight bars where you like send drinks to another table?
What about the thing
never-
from
does
straight
that
bars
actually
where you
happen?
send drinks to another table? Is an iconic.
I don't know. That happened to me once at a straight bar to my friend, not to me. It was actually my birthday.
Okay, I want to say similar to Charlie. That's actually something I want to reappropriate at gay bars.
Yeah, I like that.
And sometimes, yes, I want to do it, romantically if I feel so inclined. But sometimes I want to do it like as a gag to like a
yeah.
cute, like a hot girly that is like clearly having the time of her life, and I want to be like, you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
I love that. Okay, so it's up to us.
Yeah.
Maybe straight customs at bars are better than gay ones. I'm sort of now realizing.
I know.
And the issue is just the people that are enacting them.
No, well, there are some community building things
Yes.
that they have that we could learn from, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they've had more time in the sun.
To develop. You know what gay bars do sometimes that straight bars could do? Is play gay porn on the TVs.
Yeah.
I think that would be a fun twist.
That's a really good point.
I actually do think I would love if straight bars were more explicit sometimes with the sexual energy.
Right.
Like I actually think one of the cool things that gay bars can have is like fully like an underwear party,
Right.
or like
Yeah.
Right.
And
That's a great
I actually
point.
think if a straight bar was like this night we're gonna be playing straight porn on the TVs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's actually scary. It has to be gay porn.
It has
You're gonna
to be
watch
gay
straight porn
No, you
in
can't-
a bar.
you can't do that. Are
That's
you kidding
literally
me?
so
What if it's
scary,
like-
Sam.
No, that's
It
awful.
has to be gay porn.
No, that's okay.
Really? Okay. I'm open.
What if it's like really soft core? Like what if it's like people making out?
Yeah. That is right. Oh my God. Yeah. To me, yeah.
That would be really fun.
I still prefer just gay porn, just to be clear.
They should play straight porn at the gay bar. I don't think you can play straight porn if there are guys there who are straight, honestly. Like,
Yeah, they'll start
they just get
jerking
so
off.
They get
weird.
so
Like-
weird about it. Yeah. And why mess with perfection? Gay porn, it is great in a bar context. Doesn't matter if the bar is gay or straight.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true. That's true.
Okay, another thing I'm sort of realizing as we are listing these different things that happen at gay bars versus straight bars is the main difference is that straight bars have always been quote unquote safe space. Like they are meant to be enjoyed, whereas gay bars are inherently secretive, stealth, underground, and because of that then become more sites of like erotic charge because people feel like they're like living a secret life. And that even in cities like New York or even Los Angeles, where in fact it is often safe to be a gay person, still that legacy remains. And you go into a bar and you're like, well, who knows if we'll live to see the end of this night.
Right.
Let's celebrate.
And the erotic charge of that.
Let's
right?
celebrate.
Right.
Yeah, and so we have to celebrate by putting gay porn on the televisions.
I want to go to a bar.
Yeah, we should go to a
Me
bar.
too. This has been so fun.
I want to go to a bar.
Yeah.
I'd love to go to a bar,
Watch
dance.
gay porn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish it were like Thursday. That would be so
Wish
fun.
it was like the end of the day and there was like a big party and it was like, oh, are you guys going to that thing later?
Oh, that would be so
Could you imagine if we were all
Yeah.
like, or like you guys are going, and it was like, yeah.
Oh,
Should we host something tonight?
that has not happened in a while.
I was
That
gonna
has not happened
say,
in
should
a
we
while.
like have like something?
Yeah.
We should
We should have something.
host
Yeah.
a party
A DJ night.
Host a party?
to benefit a charity.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
And we should play
Okay.
gay porn in it.
Gay
Yeah.
porn party. Yeah. And you know what we should do? We should also borrow the thing from straight bars of having like board games available. So it's going to be a party that has gay porn on the TVs,
Gay
but it's a
porn,
board,
board games.
But gay
But it's
porn board
game.
game party. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you're playing
Gay porn game.
gay porn game party.
Gay porn game.
So it's like you can play like Ticket to Ride. There's Catan. You know. There's going to be
God.
Scrabble.
Charlie, what is the end game of this? This is a party where you can play Catan, there's gay porn playing, and it's for charity.
Yeah.
Like, it does seem like a hodgepodge of
Yeah.
things.
No, it doesn't.
I don't know
No,
if it
okay,
should be
okay.
for charity.
Oh, you
Yeah.
don't think
Charlie,
it should be for charity?
Charlie,
No, it's pure
I have
profit.
to say, it's profit. It's for
Well, we
profit.
could donate it, but maybe to like a company. Donate the funds.
Yeah, like
Oh, Amazon.
We should
Yeah.
donate it to Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we could donate that to the military with our taxes.
Of
Yeah,
course.
exactly.
Because we don't want to have like a savior complex.
Yeah,
You know
it's,
what I mean?
yeah. Someone learns about having a savior complex, and they're like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'll just give it to Amazon."
Yeah.
They were raising money for a charity, and they were like, "Oh my god, I completely did not recognize that I was being savior complex. I'll just give it to Amazon."
Wait, should we do our final segment?
I guess.
I mean, it's like literally
Yeah.
close to like.
Do you guys have any final words?
like Natalie has to like go.
Yeah, as fuck.
Okay,
I forgot there was another
Okay,
segment.
any final thoughts?
Natalie has to like leave.
Okay, fine. I guess we won't do final thoughts.
Ugh, you guys should come to nannying with me. George, will you come today?
Well, I'm here. You're coming to my
If
neighborhood?
we go to the playground, I'm gonna text you. Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Always.
Well, you
This is
know,
cool.
after this, Sam and I have to record a Patreon episode about Top Gun Machine Gun Kelly or whatever it's called.
Okay.
Top Gun.
Sounds like you're
Our
not coming.
our final thoughts are that there are some crucial differences in types of bar, and you might think if you're kind of like a gay person, you might
Yeah.
think that every bar is a gay bar, and we're here to tell you that actually it's not really like that. And there are
It's not.
there are many bars that actually do have a pretty straight vibe, despite what your
But
personal
it's
experience might
good.
say.
It's good and it keeps them busy.
Keeps them busy.
Yeah.
Gotta do
Yeah.
something.
Keeps them engaged. You gotta do something.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Our final segment.
Well, our final segment is called Shoutouts, and in this segment, we pay homage to the classic street tradition of the radio shoutout, but about anything that we are currently enjoying. So, imagine it's 2001, you're at TRL in Times Square shouting out to your squad back home about anything that you enjoy. I actually have one, and I can go first.
Please do that.
It's actually extremely basic, and I don't care. So, what is up, everyone around the globe? Woo! I want to give a huge shout out to that little precipitation called snow. That's right, baby. It snowed in NY City. The miracle came on February 27th, I want to say. And just in the nick of time, it felt so nice to watch snow fall. Are you kidding me? Suddenly winter had a reason for existing. This whole time I've been like, what's the point of the season? Just to be like gray and dead and look at ugly ass trees and feel nothing but relative coldness and just wait for spring and summer? No, when it snows, there's a reason you own boots, honey. When it snows, there's a reason for your coat and your hat and your gloves. I was so happy to feel some winter charm and to see that the community of NY City was coming together to take their little snow pictures. We are one city and we stand in the snow. XOXO, Sam.
Woo! We are one city and we stand in the snow.
We are one city.
That's amazing, Sam.
Okay. What's up, fashion girls, glamour girls, girls who walk the runways in fashion weeks all over this great nation, world, and globe, and universe, and galaxy? I want to give a shout out to very tepidly bringing back the lockdown era practice of Zoom drinks, but only, listen to me, only with people who live in different cities. We threw the baby out with the bathwater when we stopped doing it because, of course, it's triggering. Of course, it brings back bad memories. Of course, now we associate Zoom with a business meeting. But guess what? Last night, I had a Zoom happy hour with my friends Adam and Carl who live in DC, and we had a 2-hour conversation. It was so much fun. We were drinking all night, and we were just sitting on our couch having a drink. And guess what? Yes, I would love to see them in a real bar, maybe a straight bar or even a gay bar, but I can't because they live where? DC. So what am I gonna do? Not talk to them? Not maintain my friendships? Not invest in my community, even though it doesn't live in the same city as I do? No, I am actually going to bite the bullet and I'm gonna get over my fear of Zoom and have Zoom drinks with my friends who live in DC. And you can too.
Woo! I love that, actually. That's really
awesome.
powerful.
It was like, even though I was so excited to see them, there was a part of me that was like, oh no, this is going to be like, are going to have that lockdown feeling. You know what I mean? But you did, you did it in the beginning. You're like, oh God, this is a Zoom. And then you sort of are like, oh wait, I'm talking to my best friend.
Yeah.
Natalie is gone.
Okay.
Natalie disappeared.
Oh, she's still there.
We just can't see your video, but do you want to do your shout out in case you have to go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to shout out my little lunch I just made. You guys, it was too good to believe. Little quinoa, chili crisp. You can't hear me?
Natalie, you are going in and out.
Why?
You know,
Charlie,
you know
tell them what I made you. That's my shout out.
Okay, so Natalie's shout out is to the lunch that she made for both of us, which was quinoa with like pickled cabbage and what was the other vegetable? It was like purple cabbage.
Carrots.
Carrots. Yeah. And it was really it was really yummy and so quick. She threw it together so effortless.
I love that.
Wow.
I love that, Natalie.
Well,
Thank you.
Natalie, it was really funny to hear only parts of your shout out and just hear like the word quinoa.
Yeah, what we heard, Natalie, and this is not actually going to come across in the recording, but what we heard was sort of like, my shout quinoa.
Quinoa is back, you guys.
Yeah.
Well, I love that.
It was for, yeah. Okay.
Okay, Charlie, do you want to do yours really quick?
You have 2 minutes.
Yeah. My shout out is to acclaimed Pulitzer Prize winning author Toni Morrison. Because
Heard of her?
Oh, wow.
Shout out.
Amazing.
Check
Shout
her
out to her because I'm reading.
Underrated.
Yeah.
Underrated. She's so freaking good, you guys. I'm reading her book Jazz, and it's about a love triangle in a place she likes to call New York City, and I like to call it that too. It is so astute and amazing, and every single page is just crackling, and it's so amazing to read a book that's about the place that you're reading it. Because she's describing buildings, boom, I'm looking up, they're right there, and she is dead on. So shout out to Toni Morrison.
Shout out
You
to
guys-
Toni Morrison.
Because
out
if you
to
haven't
Toni.
read Toni Morrison, and specifically her book Jazz, you're missing out.
Woo! Jazz is a real deep cut.
Love it.
Yeah, well, that's why I thought it deserved, some extra
Yeah.
attention.
No, truly. It's very much her Joanne.
You guys.
Whoa.
Scary moment.
Love that. Yeah.
Whoa.
Well, folks.
Whoa.
Thanks so much for doing the pod.
This has been so fun, guys.
Incredible. Listen to Exploration Live,
Thanks.
where all podcasts are sold.
Thanks,
Thank you for having
guys.
us.
Love ya.
Okay.
ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.